Welcome to the Financial Advisor's Advisor, the podcast offering guidance and advice on all things concerning financial advisors, RIAs, and the practitioners. Brought to you by Elite Consulting Partners, it's the go-to podcast for any financial advisor in the wealth management business. Learn more and subscribe today at eliteconsultingpartners.com/podcast. And now, here's your host, Frank LaRosa.
Hey everybody, this is Frank LaRosa, the CEO of Elite Consulting Partners. I am the Financial Advisor's Advisor. Welcome to our show. As always, I'm happy to be joined by my trusted right-hand man, Dale Dempsey.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on the show again.
Dangerous again.
Were you about to say dangerous Dale?
Dangerous Dale. Dynasty. Dale's building a dynasty, the Dempsey dynasty.
Wow, I like that. That's delightful.
New house. Got everything going.
Man, you're on your toes as usual, keeping me on my toes.
All right. Hey, so we got a new setup. We're working on it. Work in progress. We're always trying to improve everything. So we'll see how this one goes this time.
Well, I like this better. And hopefully you will too. So throw some comments and some good reviews.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So this is the second of a series. We did a podcast last week that is really all about sort of rolling out the red carpet and the importance of the home office visit if you're making a move, going to another firm, why we always advise our clients to take firms up on going to the home office, certainly if they offer, but we actually require our clients to do those things. And so that was the first part. The second part, and what we want to talk about today, is from the firm's point of view, why they should be doing these, and really more importantly, the right and wrong way to do them.
And I think you're probably the right person to do this podcast in a lot of ways because you were a director, a branch manager, you hosted HOVs, home office visits. Yeah. I'd be curious to know, from the firm's perspective, what do you really think? What's top of mind in that situation?
Yeah. So what I used to do when we were doing a home office visit for an advisor team coming in is, you want to make sure that you set the schedule. The whole experience from booking the flights. There are some firms out there that make the candidates book their own flights, pay for their own tickets. I think there are two schools of thought there. One is it shows a commitment by the advisor, whether they're going to come or not. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if you're asking an advisor, and generally these are pretty successful individuals, to take what amounts to a day or two out of their business week to go spend time learning about your firm, flip the bill for the airline, pay for the room. It's I think in the long run, if you know that you have value in the business and what you're going to be offering them, you shouldn't really worry about whether or not you're going to get paid back on the money. It's all the interaction on setting up the flights. Who handles that? Is it smooth or does it seem disorganized? Once they get there, who's greeting them at the airport? We've been
yeah. I've been in some situations with you where we had to figure that out. Yeah, you're really on your heels. Like,
it was awkward.
Are we doing?
It was awkward. We were with the advisor, and it was awkward, and we ended up having cover for the firm that should have had it handled, or at least told us, hey, you have to get an Uber when you get there.
And it's a perception thing because what they're going to the home office visit to think about things like service. And so if they're a client or if they're at the firm, what's going to happen in that situation?
Right.
They haven't thought forward about that.
Sort of like when you're dating somebody, you're putting on your best behavior, right? And if you can't put on your best show when you're dating somebody, what's it going to be like? Once you get married, you're going to be a little bit more laxed, right?
Yeah.
Although I'm constantly trying to impress my wife all the time, just so we're clear on that one.
I agree.
But anyway, so it's that stuff, and then getting there, being greeted at the front lobby, having your name up in whether you have with firms. Some firms have like an LCD monitor with welcome XYZ Financial, whatever the name of the firm is, or the advisor. All those little things. Having the receptionist know who's coming. Hey, Mr. Dempsey, welcome to our office. We're excited to have you here. The other thing that I always recommend is everybody that's on the agenda.
Leaders and
leadership,
okay.
Right.
Subject matter
experts, tech people, marketing people. They should all have a bio and a sort of a background of the advisors that are there So it's not the first, when they sit down in the meeting, it's not like the first time they're learning about this team that's there.
Did you run meetings about the home office visit with those people as a group beforehand?
Yeah. So what we would do is we'd collect the bio, firm information, the hot buttons, key points that the advisor is going to want to see. And this is sort of the same thing when, sort of go off a tangent a little bit here, but what I explained to advisors, because we used to do this a lot of times with wealthy clients, where we would have an advisor bring a wealthy client to the home office to impress them. And it's the same kind of experience. So it's like twofold, right?
Sure.
But I would do a call with everybody that was going to be on during the meeting and just let them know, hey, everybody, here's what we're hoping to get out of this meeting. Here's what the advisor really needs to learn about. So marketing, this is what they want to hear about. This is their issue today. If it's trading, whatever the issues are, they have a great relationship with the trading desk. So can you just talk about that relationship with your advisors? And we're just trying to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward, which is what I think firms really need to do, and take the meetings friggin' seriously. And I've seen some that are not, and it's really embarrassing, and it's
part
frustrating.
of what I'm trying to do is more or less a intermediary, neutral party.
Yeah, right. I've heard you on the phone with these firms.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out from the advisor's perspective what it is that they want to maximize their time with, and make sure, not that that's necessarily not happening anyway, but make sure that information gets back to the firm so it's more or less the most productive meeting you could get out of a home office visit.
Right.
And it seems to resonate pretty well with both the advisor and the firm. And again,
so are you talking to the advisor about their expectations? Like, are you having the same conversation with the advisor? Like, hey man, what do you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, I know that you're focused on financial planning. Should that be the more or less the entirety of the home office visit? Or do you want to look at the staff and interact and go behind the scenes and see that as well? And so I'll try to draw some stuff out of them to figure out what's really, really important, and then get that information back to the firm so they're prepared and know that. And most advisors understand why I'm doing that anyway.
Right. Yeah, and so in talking about being prepared, from a firm's point of view, I'm continually, sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised, sometimes I'm unpleasantly disappointed, right? If that makes sense, unpleasantly disappointed. When, because one of the things I think makes our firm unique is that we go on home office visits with our clients. So sort of fast forward, in the position that we're in now as the financial advisor's advisor, spending time and going on those visits with the clients. So now not only are they spending time out of their office, now I'm spending time out of the office, bringing our clients to those firms. Sometimes it gets frustrating when you go to a firm and they're just completely unprepared, or they're not understanding. It's like financial advisors, know your client rule, right?
Right.
They're not understanding their client. Just as an example,
clients plural, maybe
clients plural, right? It's team, and right, and it's the advisor as a client, but it trickles down to the type of clients the advisor has, because they are most of the time similar in nature, right? Similar personalities, similar likes, and similar expectations. That's why they're clients of that advisor. I've been on trips where I just use one as an example because it covers both sides, right? We were with an advisor that had only a handful of clients. They were all ultra high net worth. One of them was uber high net worth. Can't use the name because he's a pretty well-known person, but uber high net worth. And so we go to meeting one, and it's great. We're picked up, all the stuff with the plane ride, everything was handled perfectly. Picked up in a car, fine. Stayed at a nice hotel, fine. It was great. All of these types of things were within the advisor's expectation because that's how they operated, right? So it was it was a fancy hotel, but to the advisor, that's just where he would have stayed anyway. We get to the home office. Again, their name is up in lights. The receptionist greets them, welcomes them by first name. So they're welcoming them into the environment. We go into a beautiful conference room. There's, nice on the conference room tables. There's nice plateware and just really professionally done. There's beautiful spread of breakfast and everything is done to the nines. Great day throughout the day. Everyone comes in. Everybody knows about this guy. They know his clients. They know where he's from. They know his history. They know all the little details that I told them about, right? So we're giving them the playbook.
Right. They're comprehending it and they're executing well on it, right?
Right,
That's what they're supposed to do.
So everything's awesome, right? Dinner, all that night before is great. So fast forward, we go right from that meeting to another home office visit. So we fly another state, right? We're going to go visit the second firm. It was like the total opposite experience. We had to take an Uber to the hotel, which was like a Best Western. So we went from staying at like a Waldorf to like a Best Western. It was really embarrassing. We had to, there was no dinner the night before. So I had dinner with the advisor, but there was no like senior management dinner. Like, really? By the way, this individual did close to $2 million in production on $400 million in assets. Low ROA because of the clients that he has, right? A lot of cash management. Okay. So very low margins. As a matter of fact, I actually told him that he should get rid of his biggest, most famous client because he was.
I know who you're talking about.
Because he was a pain in the neck, right?
Right.
I literally told him he should get rid of him.
But it's still $2 million in revenue is
still $2 million in revenue is great.
Yeah.
So we get there. It was sort of, there was no one at reception, so we just sort of walked in and I had to like go around the corner like, hello, hi, we're here for the the meeting. Awkward. We go into a conference room, sort of like a dark conference room. Looked like they just finished like a meeting or something.
Okay.
So we had to sort of clean up the table and everything.
Yeah.
It was just bad. Great people, right? So it's not like they're not paying attention to the details. Time for lunch. This is where they lost me. Time for lunch, and they basically bring out like these boxed lunches.
Oh, I remember
from like Subway or something.
I remember you telling me.
And I like Subway. Don't get me wrong. I like Subway, but like with my 15-year-old son after a football game or something, literally a boxed lunch with a wrap and like a bag of like chips. And no beverages other than water in like a styrofoam cup.
Could you tell in that moment what the advisor's reaction was?
He looked at me. I looked at him the same way. Like, what time is this over?
Because I remember there's a firm out there that we thought similar advisors on a home office visit, and he came back and told us like, oh yeah, I love these people. They're great. Well, actually you were on that visit with him. And I think they had a keg there that day for some odd reason. And we thought, oh wow, this is right. Not going to be it. But then it was it. He loved it. That's why I asked you that question.
But right. So it's about knowing your audience. Right.
Right.
And so with this other one, so we basically, he ended up obviously not going to that firm. He went to the first firm, right?
Sure.
And when the president of the firm called me and wanted to know what happened, I told him, right? Because if I can pay it forward and help him improve that process, then that's what I would do. And I told him.
It's really just coming up with a process you can replicate.
Right, but just paying attention to the details and respecting. For me, it's about respecting the advisor's time and putting your best foot forward. What we talked about in the last podcast, about paying attention to the less than obvious things. And those are the kinds of things that I was talking about. I didn't say anything. It's about the little things.
So speaking of little things, what have you seen from firms after the home office visit?
So those little things, and I can use those two firms as an example. First firm, they go back. They got a really nice, like a glass dish, like with the name of the firm etched on it.
Okay.
Right. Thanks for spending the time with us. We appreciated it, blah, blah, blah. Handwritten note from the president of the company.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's a big deal.
Right.
That's nice.
The other firm, an email from the recruiter. That was it.
Huh.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. It is interesting. It's interesting.
Because a lot of firms do it different.
Every firm, as so many firms do it differently. Right.
Actually, recently, had a really positive experience with this one firm that not only did something personal, they had some leaders and some key people in departments reach out via email to continue the conversation,
Right.
and not just leave it at the home office visit and it's back
cross
to
your
some
fingers, hope it works.
Exactly. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's probably not even the purpose. Really, one thing I'm trying to get accomplished during a home office visit with an advisor is make a permanent, lasting connection there.
Right.
And that's you're hoping that happens with everybody they meet or more.
Right. Yeah.
Close
Look,
to
one of the last key takeaways on this thing, which we sort of we missed, but that's a great point. The firms need to understand that the advisor, at least our clients, are coming there to interact and engage with and start to build relationships with the people that they're going to be working with on a daily basis, right? A lot of firms have regional recruiters and different recruiting people that the advisor, once they join, never going to see them again. And so the key, at least that what we guide our clients on, is you need to be talking to the people that you're going to be working with on a daily basis, the people that your assistant is going to be calling on the phone because a new account document got rejected for some reason, right? Knowing who those people are. And so from the firm's point of view, which is what we're trying to get across here, you have to understand that's what's on the advisor's mind. That's why they're coming here. So think about that, right? Don't make it about you, make it about the advisor. And if you were them, what would you want to see? And so that's really the key takeaway on this. Today it's really important. It's a big deal. We're asking the corporate clients to make sure that they respect the time of the advisor because they only got one shot. When an advisor gets on the plane and goes there, they got one shot. And if they don't impress them when they leave, they're going to have a very difficult time. So anyway, do I like this setup? This is cool.
This is great.
This is good.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody for joining.
Hit the like
appreciate
button.
your time.
Subscribe. Like buttons.
Yeah, like button. Leave comments. We've got some great ratings.
Give us some claps.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Slam that like button, as they say.
Everybody who keeps emailing us and calling us, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got an awesome one today on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. These are not the easiest to do. Surprisingly, I wasn't anticipating how much time they take, but they're really worth it when we get those comments and likes. So thanks everybody very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Love everyone. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Financial Advisors Advisor Podcast, brought to you by Elite Consulting Partners, the leading experts in advisor transitions, succession planning, and broker-dealer and RIA M&A consulting. If you're looking for strategic advice or solutions on any of those topics within the financial services industry, or you just want to subscribe to the podcast, head on over to EliteConsultingPartners.com.